Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambattvāmanusandadhāmi Bhagavad-gīte bhavaddeshinim. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna, which was included in the Mahabharata by the ancient sage Vyasa. O Goddess, contained in the 18 chapters, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism, O my affectionate mother, destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devakim Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. O son of Vasudeva, slayer of Kansa and Chanur, Mother Devaki's extreme delight, O Sri Krishna, supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. And we take up reading of the 46th Shloka of the Sankhya Yoga, the second chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Yāvān artha udapāne sarvataḥ samplutodake tāvānsarveṣhu vedeṣhu brāhmaṇasya vijānataḥ. Now Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna about, in continuation with the previous shloka that we have read, of giving up the three gunas and void of three gunas, the sattva, rajas, tamas, nirdvandva, nitya-sattvastha, void of the three gunas, having crossed over the barrier of dualities, opposite dualities, pleasure and pain, joy and sorrow, happiness and misery, having crossed over these dualities of opposites, the pairs of opposites, once getting established in the sattva, nitya-sattvastha, nir-yoga-kshemaha atmaman, getting established in one's own self. And no more accumulating anything, no more preserving anything, no more hoarding anything for future use. Once you get into this particular attitude of crossing over the three gunas, which are binding you in this prakriti, in this projected prakriti, in this projected universe, these are the limitations, these are the limiting factors which are not allowing you to progress further on the spiritual path, on understanding the ultimate reality. So Sri Krishna has told in the previous chapter, in the previous shloka, of Trigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna. Oh Arjuna, pass over. Come away from this binding of the three gunas and pairs of opposites. Get rid of them. Establish yourself in your true self. And through this, you will get the knowledge. And in continuation with that, gaining the knowledge, gaining the ultimate knowledge, Sri Krishna now says, yāvān artha udapāne, yāvān artha udapāne. Yāvān artha is whatever is the way it is used. What? Udapāne. Udapāne is the water in a reservoir, water in a small well, water in a small lake. Its utility is just as much. Sarvataḥ samplutodake. Utility of that water in a small well or in a small pond or a small lake is only till the time that surrounding areas are not flooded with water. Only till then you have some kind of utility for the water in that small lake or pond. But imagine a situation where there is a flood and water everywhere. There is no scarcity of water anywhere. Everywhere you find water. Then water in that small lake or reservoir, does it have any significance for us? Because wherever we see is nothing but water. So Sri Krishna says the utility of water in that small lake or pond is just as much till the entire area is not flooded. Once the entire area is flooded, sarvataḥ samplutodake. Everywhere there is water, then you lose that significance of that water in a small tank. The same way, tāvānsarveṣhu vedeṣhu. Yāvān is the same way. So much as sarveṣhu vedeṣhu brāhmaṇasya vijānataḥ. Sarveshu Vedeshu, whatever knowledge is there in all the Vedas is only useful till the time brāhmaṇasya vijānataḥ. Till one does not have the knowledge of the Brahman. Here the word Brahmana, Sri Krishna that he has used is not from the caste point of view that we have four castes of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. No. The one who has attained Brahman, one who has had the knowledge, one who has had Brahma-jnana is a Brahmana. So once you have the Brahma-jnana, once you know what is the ultimate reality, what is the use of that knowledge in the Vedas? It might have great amount of knowledge. It is useful, yes, but useful only till the time that you have. Once you have understood Brahman, what else do you want? Once you have understood Brahman, you have understood the ultimate reality. It is as good as you are looking water everywhere in a the situation of floods. Then you don't look at that small quantity of water in a small pond or a reservoir or in a small well. Wherever you see, you find only water and water and water all around you. So, once you get a Brahma-jnana by crossing beyond the three gunas, once you attain to Brahma-jnana by establishing yourself in the sattva, once you attain the Brahma-jnana by not expecting, not accepting anything, not collecting anything and preserving them, hoarding them for future use. No futuristic thought. Just devote yourself to the Atman. Devote yourself to the self. Atmavan. Merge yourself in the self. Then all the knowledge that you find in the Vedas is insignificant. Because once you have the Brahma-jnana, what else do you want? You don't need any ritualistic knowledge. You don't need any philosophical knowledge. You have attained to everything. You have attained to Satchitananda. So that is Sri Krishna's teaching in this 46th shloka. So let us see what Swami Chidbhavananda ji comments upon this. It is evident that a tank containing water is very useful in a place where water cannot be had from any other source. Naturally, you have to depend on that water in the lake, water in the pond, water in the well. You have to depend on that because there is no other source of water anywhere else. But nobody ever pays any attention to such a tank in a locality submerged everywhere with pure water. And you have water everywhere, pure water everywhere. When you have that ocean of vastness, when you have that ocean of knowledge, do you get entangled? Do you even bother for that small tidbits of knowledge? Once you graduate from your schooling, graduation, to do the primers that this kids in the primary school, the kindergarten, they use those books, primers, basic A B C D and no, you have gone much beyond the inception of that knowledge. Now you don't require ABCD. Now you don't require E. Now you talk of physics, chemistry, biology, botany, zoology. You talk of economics. You talk of political science. You talk of philosophy. You talk of all these things, history, geography. You have gone beyond ABCD. So in the same way, that once you cross over, once you get knowledge, every knowledge of the Brahman, then the tiny worldly knowledge, physical knowledge is of no significance for you. Likewise, Vedas and the scriptures are of use to those who are still in ignorance, who still are going by that ritualistic tendency of ritualistic worship, who still are attached to performing those ritualistic worship. And what Sri Ramakrishna has said in this connection, that once you get the Brahma-jnana, all your ritualistic worship, all your tendencies of performing ritualistic worship, they fall off. There is no sandhya, there is no repetition of Gayatri mantra, there is no repetition of any mantra for that matter. You go beyond that. Once you have attained samadhi, once you have attained Brahma-jnana. By faithfully following the sacred books, happiness can be obtained on earth and in heaven, which are both in the region of phenomena. We have to go beyond the region of phenomena. We have to go beyond the prakriti. We have to go beyond the realm of three gunas. That is what Sri Krishna says. The various spheres of relative existence become meaningless to one illumined with Brahma-jnana. All earthly and heavenly happiness are mere rays, that rays of that endless brilliance. The worldly pleasures that we seek. We taste the sweet and bitter fruits. These are all tiny rays of that vast brilliance, of that vast sun of knowledge, of that vast sun of existence, of that vast sun of the Chidananda, bliss. Likewise, Brahma-jnana, which leads to the absolute existence, enriches the prakriti-bound relative existence also abundantly. So that's why Sri Krishna has told us in the previous 45th shloka to go beyond the three gunas, get merged in the self, Atmavan. Once we have that, once we have the knowledge of Atman, then all this, this superficial knowledge is so insignificant. And to emphasize this particular point, Swami Chidbhavananda ji has used a teaching from Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna has said, the courtesan of prince heeds not the courting of a beggar on the road. Once a courtesan, a dancer, a prostitute, she finds a place in the palace of a prince. She is not bothered by the advances. She is not bothered by the requests of a beggar on the road. No, she is with the prince in the palace. So one who has got the Brahma-jnana is not fooled, is not attracted, is not even bothered for the lowly physical knowledge. Once you have had the bliss of Atman, Brahman, for him these worldly pleasures, they are so very insignificant. The one enjoying the supreme bliss of communion with the Maker, the Lord, the Mother, cares not for all earthly joys and enticements. That's Sri Ramakrishna's teaching. Go for that. Go for mother's love. Go for mother's devotion. Go for mother's grace. And all these, the earthly joys and pleasures, becomes so very insignificant. So that is Sri Krishna's teaching to us in this 46th shloka, that go for Atma-jnana. Get beyond the three gunas. Get yourself established in the sattva and remove all the tendency of acquiring anything, hoarding anything, preserving anything for future use. It is not of any significance. Only significant thing is having known the self, Atmavan, be Atmavan, merged in the self. That was teaching that we had from Sri Krishna, and also that beautiful teaching of Sri Ramakrishna. So with that, we stop this reading of 46th shloka. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swami.